All right. Charmaine, welcome. All right, recording is going. We'll give it a few minutes for people to join. So you're in Ethiopia, Ricardo. Hannah, where are you joining from?
Everything good. Everything good here in Ethiopia. It's 5 p.m. here.
Very good.
Yes, I'm also joining from Ethiopia.
All right, great. Welcome.
How
Mike,
about you, John?
Yep, East Coast in the US. Mike, where are you joining us from? Everything's good here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure can. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I'm actually at a federal hospital, but I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia, in the U.S.
Okay, well, we hope you feel better with what's going on there, and welcome. Happy to have
Thanks,
you.
sir. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Emmanuel, how you doing? Welcome. Where you joining us from today?
I'm based in Switzerland.
Switzerland. Okay, welcome.
Thanks.
Very good. Hi, Tima. Where are you joining today?
UK.
Oh, UK. Cool. Okay, gotcha. Welcome.
Thank you.
Charmaine, are you joining us from today?
Hi, good morning. I'm joining from
Morning.
East Coast, Florida, Greater Tampa Bay area.
And iPhone P, I'm not sure who that is, but welcome.
Hi, John. It's Greg, man.
Hey, Greg, how you doing?
Everybody.
Good. All right, cool. Good to see you. East Coast.
Recording in progress.
Backup phone on there. All right, admit. Good. Got Vilil. Welcome, Vilil. No sound yet. And still connect the audio. Get the slides going while we're waiting for her. Hi, Vilil. Welcome. Where are you joining us from today?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm joining you from Langstrand in Windhoek. I mean, in Namibia. Namibia is in the southwest corner of Africa, just above South Africa. Yeah.
Oh, welcome. Very
Apology
good.
for my delayed
No,
join.
not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. Glad to have you. And let's see. I'm going to make you, Ricardo, if you don't mind, a co-host. You can help me to let people in as they're joining us here. All right. And Ed, I don't know if you can. I think you're on your phone, but I will make you a co-host if you're able to do that also as other people join us here. Eveline. Welcome, Eveline. Audio yet? All right, so Black History Month, and we are still having Black History Month. So welcome in the US. And today we're going to go over kind of the different things that are happening. And we're also going to go over a project that's pretty cool out of Ethiopia. And we'll be covering that one. And I'm not sure if we have Azuka here or not. So Isaac had an emergency with his family. So he's not going to be able to do a deep dive on wallets, but I will give like a general kind of coverage, kind of just introducing wallets and crypto wallets. And we'll go over that as well. So we will have that part of the session. All right, let me see that. Eveline, hi, where are you joining us from? Where is it? Okay, I didn't catch it. Where did you say? Okay, I'm not sure I could hear that. Jeffrey, are you there? Hey, there's Azuka. Hey, Azuka.
Hi, I'm here.
Great. Okay. And do you have a project or topic you're going to do today? You're going to cover?
I can just give an update about my project if that's okay. Or
yeah, that'll work.
Yeah,
that'll definitely work. Okay, good. So let me go ahead and we'll go ahead and get started. I will give kind of the intro, and then so you can just give your project update, and then we'll do some of the stuff on Ethiopia and the coffee project, and then I can come back and I think I can finish up at the end with some of the crypto wallets. Again, sorry, Isaac had a family matter, so he's not going to be able to deep dive. I think next time we'll go into all the details where you really get to see like how all the wallets work, but I'll explain at least what different wallets there are and how you can use them. And then next time we'll have more on that. Okay. So can everybody, let me see if it goes to slideshow, if this works. Everybody see that okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Great. All right. So as we said, I'm not going to go through the whole thing here, but we'll kind of just talk a little bit about what's happening in crypto and the wallets we'll do later at the end. So the idea, of course, as we talked about, is empowering African diaspora and all the latest developments that are happening in crypto. There's a lot happening now, especially because of the new president in the US. And I know there's a lot of people who can't stand him, a lot of people who love him, and everything in between. But what we're really interested in is that there's a lot of developments that are actually going to allow us to hopefully make a lot of benefit for Africa, for diaspora, for African Americans, and people around the world. So that is what we want to focus on, and not so much the politics, because the politics are going to be the politics, right? So things that are happening under the new Trump administration in the US, there's a lot of pro-crypto policies that are coming. I can tell you, I was in the last several years, I was over in Singapore, and I was over there, besides just being over there, I have my family over there, but also was the fact that you really couldn't start anything that had to do with blockchain or crypto in the US because the policies are really bad. Now, those changes in the regulations are coming very quickly, where it looks like the US is going to basically be making it very, very favorable for everybody to join and to everybody be involved in this kind of space. Obviously, I think most of you guys are aware that Bitcoin hit $100,000, and a lot of that had to do with this new administration coming in. And we expect, hopefully, we should see quite a few more up moves during the rest of this year. So there's a lot of exciting stuff happening. I'm not going to overdo the quotes here because I did use ChatGPT, and unfortunately, ChatGPT is not always accurate. So take the quotes with a grain of salt. But anyway, let me keep going. All right, so this is something that I noted I put in the group and on the MeetUp group. And this is the Martin Luther King quote. It's basically one thing to integrate the lunch counter. It's another thing to be able to buy a hamburger. This is from Martin Luther King's kind of famous civil rights speech. And I think one of the things that's really important about this, the quote is, it's one thing to integrate a lunch counter. It's another thing to be able to buy a hamburger. It's one thing to integrate public parks, another thing to have money to buy a house. And so we're confronted with the fact that while civil rights laws can open doors, economic laws must enable us to walk through those doors. And the idea here is that economic justice is it's like the next step of civil rights. And this was Martin Luther King's kind of view back in that time, right? And I think that what's happening now with all the policies opening up, and obviously this is not just the US, because the US affects everybody, affects Africa, affects the UK, Europe, all around the world. So this is not going to just affect the US, it's going to affect all of us all over the world, is that now there's a really good opportunity. Like we talked about last time, I'd have a team that, I've had for the past years that, was all over Africa, was able to pay them using, crypto and using blockchain, and, doing that now. Obviously different things, you can still do payments anywhere you want across borders and that sort of thing. So really easy to do. Now it's going to be possible to start a lot more companies and things like that as well. Also, some interesting things we should have in the upcoming sessions. We're going to have one about basically tokenized. So you have there's a project that tokenizes gold. I think they're based out of South Africa, or is it South Africa? It's Southern Africa. I'm not sure. I think it's South Africa. And then there's others that are tokenizing different things like kind of like produce from crops and things like that. And what that means is money can get into the hands of people who really need to be able to use it, where before it was pretty hard for that actually to happen. Believe me, I've been doing a project trying to do that. So this is really, and for me, it's not just, being able to buy a hamburger. I think it's really being able to own the lunch stand, right? Being able to actually own the lunch counter. And I think that's the opportunity that's coming up for all of us, in this next year, the next 4 years or so. So a big opportunity. I mean, whether you're in the US or UK and you're just watching the price go up and you're just buying that, whether you're in Africa and you're able to just keep, instead of your money going down in value, you're able to have your money keep going up in value because you have Bitcoin, you have some of those things as well. Or you're able to fund something, projects, a really good opportunity. And I think that's really the exciting thing that's happening right now. You guys have any questions about that? Let's go on. So some of the things that are happening, right? Obviously the taxes, I think they're making it where all the cryptos that are US cryptos are supposed to not be taxed, I believe. Don't quote me. I think they haven't finalized that. But the idea is that they're supposed to not be taxing those cryptos, which is a big deal. When you have a situation where, especially in the US, you get taxed everywhere. That's very positive. We said a positive regulatory environment, and there's a great impact as well was when it's clear now, for me, for a lot of other people who've been doing things in this space, there's a possibility of being able to really connect a lot more with Africa, connect with the diaspora, diaspora in Latin America and in the Caribbean and, in UK, Europe, all around the world. So there's a lot of really great possibility that's going to be opened up here as these new policies come in. And I think we talked about all of those. The industry, obviously, we don't know everything that's going to develop. So I think it's something to keep an eye on to kind of see what things are going to develop, what things are going to become big opportunities. We'll be talking about some of the projects today that are coming up here. So you guys should have some interesting things to see there. And then I think there'll be a lot of things developing probably the next 3 to 6 months. So really excited about that. Okay. And then institutional involvement. This one is kind of like a double-edged sword. So if you know what I mean by that, it means now. Oh, question? Question or somebody's not on mute? Did somebody have a question? So institutional involvement, what's that saying is basically that we're getting all the banks coming in, Wall Street is coming in, like all the retirement funds and all that. All these people are all coming into crypto. They're coming into blockchain. They're coming into this, which is going to make the prices go probably a lot higher, right? So whether you're just somebody who has a retirement account and you want to, put some money into an ETF, or whether you're somebody who, now banks are probably going to start, being a lot more involved. I know in Singapore that banks like DBS were involved, in it already. And there's going to be a lot of others that are getting involved in that as well. So a lot of institutions are coming in, which means a lot of big money, right? Most of the money is in these big institutions where, a small percentage is with retail. Retail is like regular people like you and me, right? So we got a lot of people who are coming in to the market now. And of course, for African investors and entrepreneurs, right, this is going to give a real opportunity to be able to access more funds, more capital, which is really hard, especially, as an African founder, I've done this myself. It's not easy to get access to that capital. So we used to have what's called ICOs. If anybody's heard of that, an ICO is a initial coin offering. And the idea behind that is that you could raise capital. So let's say that Vandalene and Thema and Mike and Ed and I were starting some company, and we want to, get some capital. We could do a coin offering, which should now be, a process that is going to hopefully be a lot clearer. And doing that, at least in the US. Internationally, you can probably still do it a little more easily, I think. But in the West, it's a little tougher to do right now. But hopefully these policies are going to change it. And people, I remember when this first started happening, it was back 2018 to 2020 timeframe, and people were raising just millions and millions and tens of millions of dollars just by raising these tokens. Now, I will tell you that obviously some of the projects were scams. Some of the projects just kind of like disappeared, and that's no good. We don't want that to happen. But if we get, real legitimate projects, we want to fund something happening in Africa, we want to fund something happening, in the US, the Caribbean, or wherever it is, we could definitely do these coin token launches and be able to actually fund it. And that is an exciting opportunity. I'm not sure in the projects today, we'll see, maybe you guys can talk about how you funded if you did any token offering along those lines, okay? So industry insight as well. So institutional investment, like we said, this means that basically it's maturing. It means that probably the price may not go up as fast as it used to, but we still expect it's probably going to keep on going up quite a bit because these institutions are not investing for no reason. They're investing because they expect this thing to, more energy to keep coming in, more money to keep on coming into this market. Okay. Cryptocurrency opportunities for African communities, right? So as we talked about financial inclusion, I talk about this one a lot. We got a lot of people who are unbanked, right? Who are underbanked, meaning basically you don't have access either to banking or you don't have access to international banking. You can't easily access like dollars or other, currencies for international, trade, or be able to protect even your money or your assets from going down in value. So as we have crypto, Bitcoin, blockchain, this is going to make it a lot easier for financial inclusion, right? You can get and hold some Bitcoin. I know a lot of that's happening in Nigeria, other countries where even when the laws were changed, they said, oh, you can't have it. People still kept on holding it, right? I think it was like the second or third largest holder in the entire world. And that's because, the Naira was going down, down, down. And having this allowed you to have something stable, or at least something that's not going to go down like that and obviously go up quite a bit if you look at the history, right? So if you look at like the last, I think it's about 150%, if I remember, every year on average, Bitcoin is up about 150%. Now, it's not a straight line. It kind of does up and down, but overall, it goes basically up that way, right? And then remittances. So again, if you want to send money to somebody, in the Caribbean, in Africa, wherever they are, maybe in Asia, like I was based in Asia, Southeast Asia, you can easily send those funds with no problem. And it doesn't cost like MoneyGram or whatever, like 30% or 25%. The fees are tiny. It might be just a few cents US, like 10 cents or $1 or something. So remittances are really good being able to use this, right? You can send Bitcoin, you can send Binance coin. Binance is the biggest exchange outside of the US and globally, and then Coinbase is the biggest one in the US. And then investment potential, right? So cryptocurrencies provide new opportunities for African individuals, right, to invest in emerging assets. And of course, a lot of times, most of us did not easily have access to investments. What usually happens is the big institutions are able to invest in things way before you get it. And when you get it, it might go up a little bit, like 5%. And you're like, oh, be excited because you're getting 5%. But that's not that much. Those institutions that got to invest early on, they made 10 times, 100 times their money, right? You're making 10%. So big difference. But now you can get into a lot of these. I mean, I wouldn't go and get like whatever, there's some crazy coins out there. Don't go and grab one of those. But if you get like Bitcoin or Ethereum or one of the top ones, you can get into things very early and you can easily hold on to them and hopefully profit quite a lot, right? And then when you start to look at other things, you should research it more yourself, because if you don't research, obviously you can get into some projects that are maybe not so good, but nonetheless, that's going to be really a great opportunity where you can actually, Raoul Paul, he does Real Vision Crypto, he says basically you can front run the market. It means that you can get into the market where before you never could, but now you can, right? You can actually get into it at the same time as these big companies in the US and Europe and, UK and other places. And many experts see Africa as one of the most promising regions, right, for crypto. And this is because we have a lot of underbanked, basically, in terms of, a lot of coverage. All you really need is a cell phone to be able to send and use and buy. Kind of similar. M-Pesa, I don't think is actually blockchain based, but like similar to M-Pesa in Kenya, right? So it's very easy, and the ability for us to use it all the way across Africa, all the way across diaspora is huge at this point. You guys have any questions about that? All right, let me go on. Okay, so AI and cryptocurrency, right? There's a lot of AI tokens. I'm sure you guys are all aware of AI. I used AI to generate a lot of what I put on the slides today. And if you guys aren't using AI, I definitely would start, because it's kind of becoming like a superpower. Yeah, go ahead. So any questions? Question? Or not, just not on mute. Okay. Anybody has questions, please feel free to jump in or put your hand up or put it in chat. Okay. So AI-driven crypto tokens, there's quite a lot of them now. AI is also being involved and integrated into mining, and there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen in that space. I think some of the tokens that were, there's AI 16Z, there's virtuals, there's several of them that are now basically kind of like the intersection of AI and these cryptos, and you're going to see a lot more of that growing. And that's the sector that I'm very interested in, because I think there's going to be a lot of development and growth there as well. I think there is some danger, obviously, because as many of you guys know, AI can kind of have some bias, right? So if you do like certain searches, AI can, it can have like racial bias, gender bias, things like that kind of built in depending on how they train it. But it is still a space that's really growing fast. You really want to make sure you have the ability to, be connected to that, because, that's basically changing the world. If you have, I can tell you, like in my day-to-day work, it takes me maybe like not using AI. There's some stuff that takes me like, a day or so, like 8, 10 hours to do. And I can usually get it done in like less than an hour, if I just complement it using AI. So it's absolutely something you guys should be looking at. And then obviously in this space with crypto and blockchain, there's a lot of tokens and things that are actually involved in this as well. All right, so AI-powered smart contracts. We talked about the AI aspect. So a smart contract is basically, just think of it like a regular contract that you sign, but it's done completely on crypto, on blockchain. And it makes it allow, so I can do like an agreement. I can do agreement with Mike or Tima, right? And we can do that. And everything gets controlled and calculated on the blockchain. And so AI can be used in that. It can also be used with what's called DeFi. And so DeFi is things like Uniswap, if you've ever heard of that. These are different platforms that allow you to trade tokens anywhere you are in the world. So you can just connect your wallet, kind of scan the QR code or connect to it, and you can connect from anywhere you are. And you can swap different currencies, or you could also put, what we call liquidity. So you can put some tokens out there, and then they'll pay you for leaving your tokens out there. So you actually get passive income, which is pretty cool to be able to get passive income from that. Okay. And then also, as DeFi grows in popularity, we believe that a lot more AI integration and DeFi projects are going to get a lot bigger. So these are all over the world. There's a lot less regulation in other parts of the world, especially throughout Africa, the global south. And so it's actually much easier to access these, but you also have to be careful. If you don't know what you're doing, you can definitely lose your money. So you want to be careful to only use ones that you understand. I think Uniswap is a really good one. There are several others that are really big, and they're very stable. Binance is not DeFi, but they actually do have a lot of things where you can connect and actually use kind of DeFi type platforms here as well. So those are really good opportunities that you can use. Okay. And then tokenization of African wealth, right, using blockchain. So as we talked about tokenizing, does anybody know what tokenizing is? Anybody know what tokenization is?
That's basically converting real world asset into the blockchain. And
Yeah, exactly. So it could be like a house or real estate. It could be like gold or, diamonds or whatever it is, or it could even be like, some kind of a crop, like it could be like rice or something, right? But what you're doing, you're tokenizing that, and then you put it where people can just buy tokens. So some of the most common ones right now, they have like the gold-backed tokens. There's some like Q Gold. I think I'm gonna have the guy talking about that coming up, and we have several other ones that are coming up. And then there's also real estate. So there's one that did tokenization of real estate in Manhattan, right? Very expensive real estate. It'd be nice to be able to see that in Africa, tokenization of the real estate there. So what that means is you could have something in Kenya, or you could have something in Zimbabwe, you could have something wherever it is, and people just buy the tokens. And what that does, it gives the owner of the property, they get the cash, they get liquidity, right? Which is the money in their pocket. Or you might own that property, you get money in your pocket. Or maybe you're a farmer, and you need to be able to grow, whatever crop. Maybe you got yams, or maybe you got, whatever it is, cassava or maize. So you get your crop, and then people are going to buy those tokens. That puts money in your pocket, allows you to farm it. And then as you get a profit or whatever it is, you either give back something like in a smart contract, or the price of your tokens goes up. And that's something right now, especially throughout Africa and much of the global south, people don't have access to that money coming in, but this is going to give people that opportunity, which is really good, right? So now there's a chance. I remember early, about 3, 4, 5 years ago, I was doing some different things, looking at different projects in a company I had based in Singapore for African projects. And we had one that was like a mine. I think it was Zambia, right? And Zambia, it was kind of a sad story for me, because the guy had like all these mineral deposits, like literally on his land. He right there, you go back and he's talking to me. He said, I have it right here, right? I can do this, and no problem. But then I said, we were like, okay, well, can you, how can you start to mine it? He said, no, because I can't get the funds. And, even if, I do start to get the funds, I got to do survey and this and this and this. And he named all these steps he had to do. And, it was several $1 million. And he's basically the only way that he could do anything with it was basically get a Chinese company or a Western company to go and do it instead. So basically they got all the mineral rights, they got all the money from it, and he didn't really get anything. And that is something that tokenization can change, because then he could actually raise tokens and be able to raise from Friends of Africa, diaspora, others, and be able to, get the money and then give that back either in a smart contract, or give some of the funds and be able to actually do that mining themselves, or farming or real estate or whatever it might be. So I think this is a very exciting one. We should have, hopefully the guy from QGold will be coming in the next couple of the South African project and talking about how they're doing that. So they actually give like a token based on all the gold in the ground. I don't know how they figured it out, but they actually, and they give a token that so basically got a gold price based on that. So that's tokenization. This is really exciting, I think, for Africa, for Global South, for it's going to bring a lot of people the opportunity to actually, be able to prosper and to be able to make some money from, all the wealth and the gold and everything that's, right there, often under everybody's feet, right? Any questions about the tokenization aspect? We'll have some other projects that'll come in the next several meetups. Hopefully, and you guys will get to see more about that.
Are there,
In fact, actually, go ahead.
Hi everyone. Are there any examples of any projects that's actually doing tokenization in Africa at the moment?
Yes, actually, Ricardo's project, the Waga token, which is going to be after this, that actually is a tokenization project for coffee, and we will actually talk about that right after I finish here, or shortly after I finish. So hold on for that, and you guys will actually get an example of some tokenization today, okay? Cool. Other questions?
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. All right, we keep going. So security and risk management. So, right, you got to understand, of course, that people can hack and just like anything else, right? There's a lot of uncertainty, regulatory uncertainty, things like that. So you got to know that there's a lot of risk around as well and how to secure your holdings. We'll talk about the wallets later. Like I said, I'm not going to go all the way into all the examples. I'll let Isaac do that in one of our next session, hopefully. But I will give you guys an example. I will explain the different types of wallets. I'll do that later in the meetup today. Okay. So there are hardware wallets, cold storage wallets, web wallets, two-factor authentication, a lot of different ways to secure it. And it's very important you do that because basically when you're using crypto or Bitcoin, blockchain, you are your own bank to a good degree. So you need to make sure that you're securing it in a good way like that. Okay. And the security of the assets is going to remain basically, and hopefully you can mitigate some of the risk by doing this well. You can also leave stuff on like Coinbase or Binance, even though I wouldn't recommend leaving everything that way, but that actually they'll protect at least some of your assets that way. But the only problem is that they can also try to cut your access off. So you got to be careful. This is a real life success stories here. And so the different cases, BitPesa, which I don't know very well, but that's an AI powered platform doing agriculture, crypto, AI, and for changing the landscape for entrepreneurs. And then blockchain based solutions, right? So there's a lot of these. We're hoping to feature these types of projects. One of the big ideas of our meetup is to feature basically yes, Tima, go ahead.
Yes, I had a question for what you were saying about the slide you had before. So basically is having antivirus safe enough to protect your...
That is one piece of it. You definitely want to have antivirus, but you need to do a little more, right? You got to actually have security on the wallet.
But besides that, what else?
So that the first level, you definitely want to have the antivirus. That's a basic step. But you need to have several other layers of security as well.
Oh, right. So besides the antivirus and your 16-digit key phrase, what else do you...
So you're going to have obviously your seed phrase or whatever, which you want to put away, secure, put in a safe, lock up, do whatever you're going to do with that. You want to make sure that, there are other softwares, and I'm sure that Asuka and others can help me with this, but there are other software that, they can tell you, like, if they can flag if it's a phishing attempt where someone's trying to get your information. A lot of times people do that. They'll come on the web and all of a sudden, the people are accessing your stuff, right? So you want to watch out for that kind of thing, anything like that will do the like phishing. So there's different software to protect you on that. And then you can get hardware wallets, right? And we'll talk about those a little bit later, where it's actually, it's a physical thing you hold in your hand. And that hardware wallet is going to actually allow you to be able to secure, your crypto and take it offline, meaning it's not connected to the internet, so nobody can really get access to it, that way. So there's several layers that you're going to be able to do, in addition to.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. There's a wallet for to prevent people from phishing as well.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to fish from it because it's not connected to the internet. So that's
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That's much safer. And we will go into those a little more later as well in more detail. And then Isaac's session too after this, next for our next meetup. Cool. Other questions here? And I think that the other point, being able to leapfrog traditional systems, right? So as most of you probably are aware, not only in Africa, but even like in America, we have redlining, things like that, right? Where, certain, communities of color are not really included very much, like in banking and mortgages and things like that. And there's an opportunity to leapfrog here because pretty much anybody can get access to these assets, meaning that, you can take a loan from them, you can transfer them, you can use them to buy something. Right. And so there's really a leapfrogging where you may not have had access to the banking system at all, wherever you might be. But then now this actually will give you because this is the next generation. I expect probably in the next 5 years, we're going to see things mostly shift into digital assets, whether it be crypto, central bank digital currencies, which I don't like very much, but those are out there. It's going to be, Bitcoin and blockchain. All these different things are going to probably become the financial system. All the banks are integrating it now. So this is a real opportunity for Africa, for diaspora to leap ahead instead of kind of waiting for people to come up with another system and then going, oh, can we get in your system? They go, no, you can't join the system, right? You want to be in the system. We want to be in the system ahead of time. We want to make sure that we are actually there, from the start. And that's really key right now, which is why we're doing these meetups. And that's why we emphasize, any project, Africa Diaspora, Friends of Africa, we want to feature what they're doing. So that you guys can, obviously, we're not saying endorsing that project, but we are saying, hey, check it out, take a look. Hopefully you can connect with other people. They're doing things that are interesting and then you can help them. We can help each other. It's the idea of collective economics, right? So that's what we're looking to do here, right? That's the whole point of these meetups. I don't get paid to do the meetups. So, that's why we do them, right? That's why we have our meetups. Okay. The future of blockchain, crypto, and AI. So what else do we want to cover here? Right. So AI, obviously, we already talked about the aspect of what's going to happen. I think that there is some danger. It's a double-edged sword, right? Because one of the benefits for Africa right now actually is that it's not so integrated into all these systems. So there's a little more freedom for people to, exchange and trade and do things and, however you want to do it. Where, like in the West, you can't buy property or build anything unless you get like 15 permits and you have to pay property tax. They take your property away and this and that. So a lot of the things that are going to integrate in the next several years, that's why we call it the Wakanda meetup, right? Well, from like an Afrofuturist perspective, we'd like to see this happen in a way that's really going to benefit Africa and Africans and diaspora all around the world, rather than it being something that's kind of forced on us and we just have to do it the way that everybody else does it, right? So hopefully it's going to be something that's open and it really empowers all of us. And I think that happens by all of us kind of making the decision to learn about it and, in your little area, wherever you are doing, different things, learning, investing, learning about it. That's going to give the opportunity for us to really benefit. But we don't want it to be something that ends up just being like some oppressive system of, whatever, the Matrix or something where, we're stuck in some system that's been set up. So I think this is a very key time in the next 4 or 5 years for us to develop kind of our own Afrofuturist view of how this is going to work for us. So the role of Africa and diaspora in shaping crypto adoption, right? It's a hub. Africa is definitely going to be a hub. As I said, youngest population in the world, largest growing population, probably the largest center of population, I think they said by 2050 in the entire world. And basically, if we are able to do a really good job of transforming our financial, our economics, not only on the continent, but connecting everywhere in the world, this is really a great opportunity for all of us, right? And, as we talked about the Martin Luther King quote at the beginning, there is no, you got to be able to buy the lunch counter, you got to be able to eat, you got to have the economics. And I know a lot of us have dealt with where, you don't have access to funds, right? Or you don't have the ability to connect. And you're not able to, or maybe not get, the mortgage or the loan or whatever you need. So this is really changing that. And it's a very good time to be involved. Is somebody asking a question or are you just unmuted? Unmuted. Hey, Brian. Okay, so diaspora's role and how African and communities can contribute, right? So the diaspora, I think, is very important. If you look at what happened with China, that China obviously is a major superpower now, effectively, right? There's China, there's US. China 50 years ago was not a global power at all, even though obviously China is a very ancient culture, and there's no doubt about that in history. Okay, I'm going to, Brian, I'm going to mute you. Hope you don't mind. There's a lot of noise there. So if you want to say anything, just unmute. Thanks, sir. So China was not a global power 50 years ago at all. Now they are. And what they did is they connected all their diaspora. You know, they have like China, you know, Chinese people in Europe, Chinese people in America, and, you know, Africa, all over the world. They connected and they said, come back here, connect, bring all of, you know, the knowledge and the connections that you have and connect those in China, and then we're going to build, right? And I really think that this is an opportunity in what Africa and African diaspora need to do, whether in America, the Caribbean, or Latin America, Europe, even Asia, wherever you are, right? There is a great opportunity now to connect because you can transact and do business and all these kind of things easily using this technology. And because of that, we really have the opportunity to do the same thing that China did 50 years ago for Africa and for diaspora. It doesn't matter if you're in the UK or you're, you know, you're from the Caribbean, you're from Jamaica, wherever you are, you can do this, you know, Trinidad and Tobago, wherever you are from, you are going to be able to connect and utilize this. And I think that hopefully we can do the same thing or even better than what China did, you know, 50 years ago. Because 50 years ago, China was definitely not the leading power in the world, right? So there's a great opportunity here. All right, so closing this part. So crypto and AI are great opportunities for Africa and diaspora. And by adopting and leveraging it, whether you're just investing in it or putting it into your, you know, you're in the West and you're putting it into your retirement account, you're getting, you know, some for, you know, IRA or something, whether you're connecting it in a project and keeping the value of your money in your Nigeria, your Zimbabwe, wherever you are, so your money isn't going down, down, down. You're connecting to other people, you're investing in different projects, do it carefully, obviously. You know, you're communicating and just being part of a community like we have here. Lots of opportunity for financial inclusion. And as I said, you know, love him, hate him, whatever you feel about the new president, there's going to be a lot of economic opportunity for us to not only be at the lunch counter, but now to be able to buy the hamburger and to own the lunch counter. And this is a great opportunity. I am not going to go into my part on crypto wallets. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hand it over to Azuka. And then I'm going to also hand it over after that to our team from the Ethiopian tokenization project. But any questions on what I just talked about before we go on over to those parts? I'll do the crypto wallets at the end, at least the introduction. Any questions, thoughts on that before we go on? Cool. All right, Azuka, you want to take over? Maybe just give the update on your project. Not sure if you have slides or you want to just talk or how you want to do it.
It's just to show. Let's see. Okay, can anyone see my screen?
It's loading. Yeah, we see it.
Okay, yeah. So hi everyone, I'm Azuka, and we are building a game. It's a football game because we know football is a worldwide sport with over 3 billion fans all over the world. And just in the last session in January, I did talk about what we're building and how far we've come, and invited people to take a look more about the project and see if it's something they would like to partake in. Like John just said about the tokenization. This is also a form of tokenization because doing research about the football industry and the gaming industry, we found that there are lots of football games which have hundreds of millions of users partaking in the sport, but it doesn't have any reward value for the players. And like I said, there are a lot of users playing games in terms of football. So just a brief introduction about what we're building. We're building a football manager game on the blockchain, which we know what football is, and probably the word football manager is you owning a team and then managing this team in different competitions to try to win the league, for example, the World Cup and what have you. And more information since the last time I presented the project is that we did apply for the Stellar Foundation Community Fund, and then we got accepted to be funded for the first round of the project. and also to also receive subsequent funding if we meet our milestone, of which we're able to produce whatever they're funding us for. So, which is a big step for us. Like I said, we're getting funding from Stellar, and that will help us produce our proof of concept and move over to the minimum viable product, of which our proof of concept should be available by the end of March, or the first quarter, or the beginning of the second quarter, which will be from April. And then we start building even more value. And so the purpose of bringing this information is that our team that we're building this game together, I would say we are more 100% Black team. Like you say, Africans, people from Africa and what have you, but we are residing all over the world, UK, the US, and also some team in Nigeria as well. So we would be moving to the next step very soon in terms of building our token on the blockchain. And then John did speak about ICO, initial coin offering, which is one of the ways people get funding into projects. And currently we are employing people to take a look at this project and see if it's something they would like to support and get to be the first movers, because currently now we're on the seed round, which will be the private investment round for people who want to support the project. And why would it be beneficial for people like us now to support the project at this stage is that we're giving out 5 times more value of whatever you'll be supporting us with. Say you're supporting with $100, we'll be giving you $500 worth of token just to show our commitment and give you more value. Like he said, a lot of the big VCs, they invest on project and they are the one who gets the 100x while other people get 10x. So reason why we are opening this option to our people of Black descent all over the world to support our project and follow us closely. And in the coming months, the proof of concept will be available for people to test. And because we're working with Stellar Foundation and also some tech development teams as well here in Europe and in Australia, the process has been really, really good for us in terms of building the game and then getting key opinion leaders. We've made a lot of contact, and we've also received a lot of contact from big VCs and football clubs that we've been contacting in terms of partnerships. So we have a lot of these in line, but while we are opening up this private round and not going to the VC right now, because we know going for the VC will get, the VCs want, they want to take equity, and we do not want to give out this equity. We want to hold as much as possible and just opening everything up for on the blockchain to make it like an open ICO for everyone to get a lot of value than just selling it out to big companies and corporations. So the purpose of me giving this information is that we are actually open to get more seed funding up to the tune of 50,000 so as to help us move from our proof of concept to our MVP. Because like I said, the Stellar Foundation has paid for our proof of concept, which will be completed by the end of March. And then from that, we would also then apply for the next round of funding. But why we are asking for this seed rounding is to help us build the hype and build community around this stage right now. Because once we have good community backing the proof of concept, then it will be easier for us to open up and start the ICO. But the proof of concept doesn't just come alone. We're also building our NFT minting platform, because the game, like I said, is play to earn, and it's on the blockchain whereby people own the in-game assets, unlike all other football manager games out there. You play the game, you have players, but when you sell your players, you do not earn but in the real world football sport, a team sells their player to another team and they earn money. So that is what we bring into the game. So all your players are actually owned by you and on the blockchain. So when they are sold, you earn that value. And if you're not a player, you can also own those NFTs and sell it to people who play the game, and you earn those rewards because they need those digital assets to improve their team and win competition and reward value from it. So that would be the, I don't want to take too much time, but that is what we're building, and we're calling on interested individuals who would like to support the game to probably contact me, or I'm also in the Wakanda group, and see how we could take these sport and this project to the next level. And going back to the market valuation of play-to-earn games, they're currently standing at $13 billion capitalization in, if you check coin market cap. And also the gaming industry currently stand at over $200 billion, and it's been valuated to grow over 30% every year. So this is a very lucrative space, and you can also check those information on CoinMarketCap, looking at game like X Infinity and others, Decentraland, which is doing very well in terms of token and market movement. So that's what I've come to share with you guys today, and hopefully you can find more information about us and our website at aruku.io, which is our registered company here in the UK that would be managing this game and making sure we meet all targets and launch successfully on the blockchain. Thank you.
So if you can put in the chat maybe your website so people can see that one, and if they want to visit that. I think one of the things that's really important here is that what Azuka and his team are doing is they're raising, and I think you said 50,000 to start. Is that part of the tokens? You're all offering that all via tokens? Is that how you're raising it?
Yes, we'll be raising it via tokens, but because, like I said, we're opening the what they call it, the first private round and seed round. So anybody who's supporting us would be like in a contract before, because right now we've not designed the blockchain tokens. We're launching our NFT platform with the proof of concept. So if you're supporting the project, it will all come directly from the management company, which is Aruku R&B Limited, which is registered here in the UK. And also we'll be getting the first version of the NFTs, which will be worth thousands and thousands of dollars when you unlock those boxes. The boxes will have a lot of other assets in there that you can start selling while we're making the hype for the game. So I've just dropped the website link on the chat, and you can find more information as well. And probably if you wanted to contact, you can also contact me on the email as well.
Okay, so yeah, if you drop that in there. And I think what's really important is that this is offering the opportunity for Asuka and his team to raise funds where he may not have had an easy opportunity to do it previously, or if it was, like you said, venture capitalists might take ownership of most of the company or a lot of the company, right, and control of it. So he is able to, with his team, raise the funds. Now, obviously, you need to understand what you're investing in and everything, so make sure you understand. But that is a big opportunity that the blockchain and tokens and tokenization give you, is that for him, for his team, and anybody else who's doing something similar, you can actually raise the funds and, bring that in directly, rather than having to go out to, big company here, big company there, that's going to take, ownership of everything, and you don't get it yourself. So I wanted to just call that out, because that's really kind of changes the game a lot, I think. Anybody have questions? Go ahead. Anybody have questions?
Yeah, thank you. That's really interesting. Is there light paper on the website, or the white paper? Sorry.
I can send that over on the chat. If you also try to join our community on Discord. You can find it there. But the website has been updated with all the current information and the white paper, probably in the coming days.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions, Rasuka and team? Let me just paste this over into the Telegram chat. If you guys are not in the Telegram chat group as well, we have daily conversations over there, just about all the different developments, everything that's happening. So you can definitely find out and learn a lot more about any of the projects or anything that's happening by joining the Telegram chat group as well. So please do that. Any other questions for Zuka before we go on to the Ethiopian coffee project?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What's the name for the on Telegram? The blockchain. Is it Wakanda blockchain? Because I can't find it.
Wakanda blockchain meetup. The link, I put the link in the chat. If you see the link there, it's called yeah,
okay.
it's the first one. It's called Wakanda blockchain meetup. New. Join the new one.
And this is on Telegram.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so we use that for chat like every day. We just have different conversations.
Yeah, because I
what's
typed
happening.
just
Yeah.
Wakanda blockchain. I couldn't find it. So I need to type in Wakanda blockchain meetup new.
Yeah, if you type that in, you should find it, or just use the link. The link is direct. The one in our chat here in the Zoom chat.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Any other questions? All right, really great. Let me hand it over. Thanks, Asuka. If you want to put like the whole website into a Telegram as well, let me show you can do that. And I can also put in the notes from the meetup today on the meetups.com site, so that we have everything so people can, find your project. And then let me hand it over. Who is going to be doing the presenting? I think is it Emmanuel for the Ethiopian coffee?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, it's correct. Emmanuel will be make the presentation.
Oh, I'm sorry. One second. We got a question. Let me get this question. I'll let you get started. Tima, you got a question? Or was you just have your hand?
Sorry. I need to lower my hand. Sorry. I already asked the question. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, go ahead, Emmanuel. You want to? I think I made you a host so you can present. Are you able to present?
Yep. Just trying to. Hopefully you can see my screen. Can you confirm?
Yep, you see it?
Yes. Is it big enough? Is it?
We'll get a little bigger if you can. That'd be good. Maybe I'm just seeing but
right.
I can see it though.
Just bear with me. Okay, I'm just going to try something else. Can I just cancel and try to share again from another format?
That's fine.
Just trying to figure out how to do that. So.
And I think, Emmanuel, are you in Ethiopia now?
I'm based in Switzerland, but you have Hannah and so how is that? Is it better?
Good. Yeah, that's good.
Right. Okay. Thanks again for having me, John. There is 3 of us from the WAGA tokenization project. There is Ricardo and Hannah based in Ethiopia. Just a little bit of background on myself. My name is Emmanuel. I'm originally from Cameroon in West Africa, but I'm based in Switzerland, living in the canton of Bern. The Waga Coffee Tokenization Project is really an initiative that seeks to leverage blockchain and Web3 for decentralized, inclusive value chain. So a much more decentralized and a much more inclusive value chain. What I would be taking you through here very briefly, I have to mention you would have access to our white paper on the website there. I've kept it at a really high level. The technical details can, be a little bit confusing, but I'll provide you with some background to the project, which would highlight some problems to which we have a solution, a value proposition, the customer segments, which in a Web3 sense would really refer to stakeholders, the revenue model we are operating on, our capital requirements, the roadmap, and what we're really planning to do or what we should do going forward. So some background is needed to this. Really, second to crude oil only, coffee is probably the second most traded commodity. Estimates do vary, but you would place them anywhere between $200 and $460 billion annually, really from an end-to-end value chain perspective. So compounding from the farm to the cup. Coffee production last year or a couple of years back stood at 168.2 million bags. Africa contributes about 10% to the global coffee output, but only captures a tiny fraction of its value. And this really is owing to the nature of its exports that are mostly raw as opposed to being processed. There is limited access to premium buyers. Now, premium coffee makes the transparency claim. And unless you can be transparent and have the infrastructure for it, you just don't have access to those markets. And so there are really weak, there is a weak supply chain infrastructure network, and financing really doesn't help. And so, as you can see, Africa's production stood at 17.9 million 60 kg bags. There are reasons for this. A lot of this is really down to some of the policies that were introduced by the International Monetary Fund that did limit government spending in infrastructure without necessarily creating the incentives for private capital to invest. War, corruption, so many things are to account for this. And again, already mentioned, African countries do export raw coffee beans as opposed to processed products. And what this means really is they tend to earn a lot less per unit. Interestingly, Ethiopia does earn a lot more per unit for its coffee than most, but its total export earnings are relatively low. And this really owes to the amount of value addition that is being done. So just imagine you increase coffee production and you export more value, the difference it would make going forward. Lack of infrastructure is a big problem. As you can see, Brazil spends a lot more, almost 4 times more than some African countries as far as infrastructure goes. And so our underinvestment in transport, processing, and storage infrastructure is a big problem as far as competitiveness goes. And so what we are trying to do here is really to bridge the gap through combined physical and digital first ecosystem powered by blockchain, IoT, and DeFi financing. And so just moving on from there, please feel free to ask me questions if you do have any. Our solution to the problem is multi-pronged, really. It combines tokenizing coffee reserves using the ERC 1155 standard. Now, what does that mean? What that means is we create tokens that are backed by physical coffee in a reserve. Those tokens can be traded. That's the purpose for which we are actually creating them. Traditionally or historically, there has been a decoupling between the coffee and the information that should go with the coffee. It is often subject to fraud, if not available at all. But what the blockchain enables you to do with tokenization is to create digital proofs of ownership fully backed by traceable data for the blockchain. And once you do that, you do unlock quite a few opportunities in terms of DeFi. For collateralized lending, farmers can use those coffee tokens to access short-term loans, but it's a research stream for us now, but it would make a lot of sense to be able to tokenize future yields as well for coffee. Trade has also got to be facilitated, and so we are leveraging the community for trade finance in a streamlined process. We're also leveraging zero knowledge proofs for traceability. Again, historically, in the Web2 world, I should say, which is pretty much what is going on now, transparency in the coffee supply chain suffers from privacy issues. Those who have tried to create platforms to connect buyers and sellers have often failed because the sellers are not too willing to give up sensitive information. With zero knowledge proofs, you fix the problem because you can reconcile transparency with privacy in the sense that you can reveal information while protecting that which is sensitive. And so this opens quite a lot of opportunity as far as transparency in the coffee value chain goes. Community-driven vertical integration is something we are really working towards. Coffee doesn't grow in the US, cocoa doesn't grow in Switzerland either. There is no reason why we shouldn't have a global chain of coffee shops powered by tokenized coffee, run by the community. And so education is equally of the essence. And so we are targeting digital transformation in coffee producing regions with education and training via the WAGA Academy. But maybe please do stop me if you have any questions. The process as far as tokenization goes is quite straightforward. Coffee batches are harvested. The platform features a proof of reserve, which is some sort of a digital warehouse that integrates oracles. It also features a tokenization engine that verifies physical coffee reserves prior to minting tokens. The tokens come with metadata stored on IPFS, but once you have a coffee token, it's meant to be sold. And so there is a token transfer, which is the most natural thing you can expect in a blockchain space. The tokens can be redeemed for physical coffee, but because we retain the metadata, it is possible for customers to actually verify the information. And again, remember, access to premium markets has been a problem. What this solution does is it actually not only creates direct market access, but direct market access to premium markets. We have a dual token model. It's quite important to understand there is a difference between the coffee-backed token and the WAGA utility token. The utility token really is designed to finance or create liquidity for the hardware, software, and logistics infrastructure we need for the setup. And so the coffee-backed token follows a deposit of coffee into a warehouse. That's what warrants it's being issued. It can be used, it can be traded for financing purposes. It can also be redeemed for the physical coffee. The WAGA token would have all the features of a classic utility token. We expect users to stake the token to earn a share in the profits or the money made on the platform. It should grant access to discounted fees for trading on the platform, access to traceability services. We're still developing quite a few features to go with. But yes, as mentioned, it should grant access provided you stake them to revenue generated on the platform. And yes, we expect it to appreciate in value. What value are we offering with this solution? Now, if you've traded coffee, it can be, there is a lot of friction, keeping it simple. Instant settlements are enabled on the blockchain. In the case of Uganda, this needs a really high level of integration with the government, but presenting this as a digital transformation with a lot of opportunity even for them in terms of foreign currency earnings makes it possible. Pricing tends to be fair because those farmers can now bypass traditional non-value adding intermediaries. They have access to yield-based loans. So if we can forecast their yields, then we should be able to help them out. There are vendor managed inventory implications for buyers who all of a sudden only have to manage digital coffee inventory as opposed to managing the physical inventory. And so it comes with efficiency gains as well for them. So you get to redeem coffee on a just-in-time basis as well. Privacy, I've discussed with leveraging zero-knowledge proofs. But yes, because we putting a lot of effort into creating this information that is required by the market should pay for it. And so, yes, verified farmers should then be able to access premium coffee markets. Now, I did say when we talk about customers and segments, we're really referring to stakeholders here. And there are 4 key stakeholders to really pay attention to. The farmers and the cooperatives we're seeking to empower with fair prices and DeFi-powered loans. DeFi investors who should, quite honestly, make some money from trade finance and also providing collateralized loans. Exporters and commodity traders should have a much more seamless trading experience on the platform. I'm happy to come back to this. And please, if you have any questions, do let me know. How do we plan to generate revenue from this? It's an ambitious project, but we need to have our feet on the ground. We're aiming to tokenize about 10% of Ethiopia's coffee exports over the next 4 years. So about 150 million US dollars worth of coffee. That should generate about $2.5 million in tokenization fees if you charge anywhere between 1.5 to 3%. Yes, the platform should definitely sell coffee. And this is why a community-driven value, vertically integrated value chain perspective is quite important. So we expect the community to sell the coffee. And so we're creating opportunity for them as well. Transaction fees, of course, DeFi lending. These are quite difficult to predict. A lot of thinking has to go into this area, so we don't have any figures for those going forward. As far as our capital requirements go, we really adopting an ICO/IDO approach here. So an initial coin offering and an initial DeFi offering. An initial DeFi offering, really what that means is creating a trading pool on Uniswap. But we need some liquidity for that to happen anyways, but it makes the token accessible when it becomes available. The total capital investment is at about anywhere between $7 to $10 million, but for seed funding, sorry, hopefully you can still see my screen. As far as seed funding goes, for the pilot, we're looking to raise about $2.5 million. In return for 49% founder stake in Web3 solution startup based in Switzerland. Now, there is a lot of funding here for Web3 and tech in general, and so it would be a pity for us to not take advantage of that. The seed funding would be allocated to the ongoing smart contract development work we are doing. There is infrastructure for traceability that has to be deployed. We need a warehouse for coffee processing, some sort of a best-in-class or a standard after which others should be modeled. We need some liquidity for trade finance pools. Compliance is quite big. We have a lawyer on the team, but we need some more. There is a lot of work to do in the area. And obviously, we have to sell the concept. This is just a high-level view of our roadmap. So we currently, we're about 2 or 3 weeks away from deploying the Waga utility token. But yes, we're building the tokenization engine, the proof of coffee reserve, the decentralized marketplace. All of that is being built as I speak. We also plan to integrate zero-knowledge proofs into our pilot. But you can have a much more detailed view of this on the white paper if you visit the website. Going forward, there are certain things we must have, and some of those we already have. Strategic partnerships are quite important with farmers and cooperatives. We're doing a lot of work in this area. We have to engage with the Ethiopian Commodity Exchange as well. And so quite a lot to do here. Interacting with specialty buyers and roasters is something we're currently working on as well as technology and third-party logistics service providers. We must test, implement, and test our smart contracts, establish liquidity pools. We need to build some custom Chainlink Oracle data feeds. Some custom Chainlink oracles for price feed data and reserve verification.
Emmanuel, can you just explain what that is for those who don't know what that is? Can you explain what that is?
Smart contracts in and of themselves are quite dumb. They are smart because they can automate processes that would otherwise require human intervention. But they do need off-chain data to do their job. We need a real-world coffee price feed, so a mechanism to bring coffee prices on chain. We also need a mechanism to physically verify coffee reserves prior to minting tokens. And that's what an oracle is. And we basically have to build those for everything we're planning to do to be possible. So in essence, an oracle is a system that connects data, brings data from the real world into your smart contract for automation to be possible. Our team, we have a quite diverse and experienced team. We have about 15 developers who are currently building the ecosystem. 10 of them are active. 5 of them are training So, but pretty much everyone is training. A core team of blockchain engineers with, expertise in those different areas for building the proof of reserve, the engine, and the marketplace. So we've got full stack developers as well. Some of our team members are currently participating in the Ethiopia residency program, which is quite good. We are actively hiring, is probably a stretch. Everyone working with us is a volunteer, but we're looking to onboard some more. And so, yes, we are looking to disrupt the 200 billion coffee industry. Thanks for listening, and I'm happy to take any questions you might have.
Any questions for Emmanuel?
Thank you, Emmanuel. That's really interesting. I've got a few questions. What are your biggest challenges, and how would you mitigate those challenges?
Our biggest challenge right now is navigating the crypto regulatory environment in Ethiopia. As far as mitigation is concerned, we are actively engaging with the Ethiopian Security Agency. They have an eye on our project, but as I have repeatedly said to my team, the Ethiopian government is quite agile in its approach. And what that means is they are learning from experience, and they tend to make decisions on a case-by-case basis. And so it is our job to prove the utility of what we are trying to do. They have recently, Hannah might be able to tell you a bit more about this, releasing regulation that is increasingly friendly towards crypto. So really that's the big challenge, the first major challenge we're facing. The second challenge obviously has to do with the capital requirements. It is an infrastructure intensive project. And so raising the funds for what we are trying to implement is a challenge. How do we mitigate that? With baby steps, doing what we can do with what we have, and trying to show, go for the low-hanging fruits. And the mechanism by which we achieve that is with education, really. You cannot underestimate the importance of education, not only for users, but for decision makers as well. The more they know, the more likely they are to onboard. And so the Waga Academy is playing a massive role in that area. We're looking to run a summer camp, inviting international volunteers really from around the world to come and help us train the next generation of smallholder coffee farmers in tech, in IT, really. 30 years ago, every coffee producing household had a pump for, to spray their coffee. I believe every household should have a drone for the same purpose. And they should be able to deploy IoT devices to create the transparency they need to access premium markets. And so by doing things like that, we hope to show the benefits of what we are trying to do to the Ethiopian government. So those are the major challenges we're facing, the regulatory dimension and the capital requirements dimension as well.
We have another question, it looks like. Sorry, did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. But I just have another question. When do you estimate that the project when the pilot might be up and running?
and then the actual full project.
Emmanuel, did you hear the question? You're on mute.
Sorry. We're running the pilot in Q2. So in June, that's when we plan to start running the pilot. The good thing about it is we don't need a lot of infrastructure to run the pilot. We need a warehouse, we need an auditor, and we need the smart contracts we're currently developing to be up and running. Even if they're on testnet, that's fine. And so, yeah, the pilot should go live in June of this year.
Thank
Hopefully
you,
that
Emmanuel.
answers your question. Cheers.
Yes, thank you very
Olinga, a question?
Sure. Thank you very much. Interesting. I would listen to that. Very interesting. I think we might be able to help you. We have, I'm chairman of a company in Kenya. I'm based in the UK right now, second. But in Kenya, we are Quickmart, who is the second biggest retailer in Kenya. We have 7,000 staff.
Excellent.
And we have 60 stores, and we have about 400 million revenue. And we started a project last year, well, 2 years ago, 2023, to develop a coffee side to the business. And we're aiming to purchase 10,000 acres. We've bought about maybe 720 acres right now, but another 1,500 about to come through. But the difference, I think, is that we are setting up our own coffee shops around the world. We've targeted 10,000 coffee shops. And our first few will start, 5 will start. Of course, we'll start in our stores in Kenya, the 60 stores we have there, 5 in Nairobi to begin with, starting next month in March. We're just finishing off designs. But August, we're looking for Beijing and New York and London and Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, some coffee centrals. Now, Ethiopia is a very big coffee market, of course, and a big coffee supplier, as you said, quite rightly. I would say to you, by the way, your figures were a bit low. I thought your figures should be much higher, to be honest with you.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think more than double what you said is accurate. So, but I think the challenge, I can see you've got some challenges, and you're a startup. You know, we are a kind of a startup, but kind of a big startup. But I can see that we may be able to help. We may be able to help. You know, because we have already got all the blockchain stuff that you talked about. You know, I mean, I'm sure yours could be better. Whatever, I don't know. But you know, we implemented the IoT stuff in the fields. We know which coffee farmers are working on which plant, you know, which crops, and we're launching shortly a RWA program, a real world asset program, where, you know, for say just under $5, purchase a square meter. A square meter, as you know, is about the size of a coffee plantation, a plant itself, crop. And it's about 3 square foot, but it's about the same. And so people will be able to purchase and connect in. So, you know, the coffee drinker in our cafe in New York who pays $10 can actually connect straight through to the farmer who's working on that farm, who's getting 2 cents. They generally get 2%. You know, like an espresso is about 2%. You know, a latte cappuccino is about maximum 5. Farmers get 5%, and the people working on it get, of course, a lot less than that. So our approach is to disintermediate this, to grow that to about 25% going to the farmers, and allow the person in New York to actively participate in the person's life in Ethiopia, if you like, or
exactly
yeah, and to be able to tip them and to be able to involve themselves in the journey of their families and the education issue, etc. All so we have kind of put this together, but we haven't got enough coffee supply. Truth, all right. So 10,000 cafes cannot be supplied by 10,000 acres. It's just not possible. So we are now looking for other partners, and you may, we'd be very happy to talk to you. If you like, I will post something into this chat group, just a link, like a 7-minute pitch we did last October to raise the initial 5 million. And my contact details are at the end. And so it's just a quick introduction to what we do. If you feel it appropriate, sir, by all means, contact me. I'm not in Kenya at the moment. I'm actually a regulator in China in the crypto blockchain market. So I'm in the UK at this moment. I was in Kenya in August, but we're happy, to support you, to talk to you. And if we can help, we will.
Definitely. Thanks a lot. Definitely would reach out to you. I think we have a lot to learn from your experience deploying IoT devices for traceability. That's already a big, big plus. And yeah, I would definitely be reaching out to you, and really looking forward to. I don't know if you're, Tai or Olinga.
It's Olinga. Olinga
Right.
is my forename. Call me Olinga. I've just put something in the chat group, which it just introduces us. The interesting facet we have is that our cafes are called Being You, being you.
Right.
Okay, and basically it's mainly a Gen Z pitch into people, being being whatever you identify yourself as. I mean, I tell you, once at a meeting, I said being you coffee, I said gay coffee, and heart attack. The fact is, whatever you are, okay, coffee your way. Coffee to your taste and to your way and to how you identify.
How you want to.
And then bringing in communities of people, like in that one, gay people and others, angry rioters in Kenya, whatever. And we give what's called negative pricing dynamic. So that means if there's 30 of you, 10 of you in the coffee shop, we'll lower the price. As opposed to normal dynamic pricing is when something is rare, they increase the price. So we basically make it an incentive. And as you do more for your society and your community, ESG in particular, and then we will reward you with tokens, all right, which you can then trade in our stores at QuickMart for, whatever you want, sugar, food, etc. And we have about 30 other partners around the world that we are experimenting with, so people can walk in and swap those tokens. So there is a financial token, as you've done, but we've also got a non-financial token, which is more like a thank you, saying thank you very much. But it is tradable in terms of like a barter, in terms of being able to get discounts. Anyway, if it's a help, sir, we'll be very happy.
It definitely helps, and I'd be reaching out. Thanks a lot, Olinga. Definitely.
It's a pleasure.
Your name Olinga is it's a local name from Cameroon. I was wondering how come
actually Ugandan. It's Ugandan.
Right, okay.
Actually, but honestly, I only went to Uganda. I wasn't born there. I was born in Laos, in Cambodia, in that area.
Excellent.
So, but it's sadly, I'm not big and black and beautiful. All right, sadly not. But this meeting came up suddenly on my, I don't know where it came up on WhatsApp. Actually, I saw it on a WhatsApp just about an hour ago, and I saw the coffee thing. I thought, oh, okay, let's rejoin and see if there's something we can help.
Thanks a lot. We're reaching out real soon. Thanks, Olinga.
It's a pleasure. You take care.
Cheers. Take care.
All right. Any other questions here as we get to the bottom of the hour? We'll go into the wallet shortly, but any other questions for the Waga market and the coffee? Good. Okay, really great. Thank you. to all the Waga team. And I'm going to go ahead and share one more time. We're going to go into the wallets. This is just going to be an overview. Hopefully next time Isaac is going to take you guys through all the details of setting it up, but we'll at least give you an overview of the different types of wallets that you can use for crypto, for digital assets, or Bitcoin. Let me see if I can find the right screen share here. Give me a second. Go. Hold on a second. Let me try to restart that share. All right, there it is right there. And let's try it again. All right, good. Everyone see my screen?
Yes.
All right, good. So we're going to look at crypto wallets. This is something that whether you're getting tokens for a token sale, or whether you're taking things off of Coinbase or Binance, or whether you're getting some Bitcoin or whatever you're doing, you need to have a crypto wallet. So those are some examples. Those are some ledger wallets there. All right, crypto wallet is basically a digital wallet. You can think of it kind of like your bank account, but this is going to be for digital assets and things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and things like that, or the Waga token, or the token for Invincible Football Manager. All of those would go into your wallet, right? So there's several different kinds of wallets. You got a hot wallet. It's connected to the internet. I think maybe Tim, it was you was asking. Those kinds of wallets are actually the ones people can hack them because they're connected right to the internet. So you have to be very careful with those types. And then we have cold wallets, which is like the ones you see the pictures there. Those are like a little USB device, and you can put them away and take them off the internet, and then nobody can access them unless you connect it to your computer. And then we also have custodial versus non-custodial. And so custodial means that basically you control it's like an exchange like Binance or Coinbase, and they control the keys. So you don't have the keys. Non-custodial means that you have full control, and you can use your keys and you can send it to anybody you want. And you don't have to ask anybody's permission or log into a website. You can just go right to your own wallet. Okay. And I think it's preferable for most people that you have something that is non-custodial. Tima, you have a question?
Yeah, so the Trezor Safe 5 wallet, that's a cold wallet, right?
Trezor is a cold wallet. That's right. Yes.
Okay. All right.
So anything usually that has like a physical device where you can hold it in your hand, that's a cold wallet. And usually you're going to take that, disconnect it from the internet, and it makes it much safer because people can't just access it like hacking it from anywhere, just connecting to your computer. So it's much safer because it's removed from the internet. It's offline.
Yeah, that's what I have. Okay, thank you.
You got it. And what was my other point I had down there? Oh, security. So protecting your keys is very important, right? So you're going to get private keys that go along with your wallet. You should put those away, whether in a safe, some trusted place, whatever location you're going to do, you should put them away. You shouldn't leave them laying around, and definitely don't like paste them on the internet, because anybody who gets that key from you would then be able to access your digital assets, your Bitcoin, your crypto. So you want to make sure you're very careful with those, just like you would be with like a PIN number for your bank account. Okay. So the hot wallets that are really popular, we got the Exodus wallet. I like this one quite a lot. You can do like trading of different currencies and cryptocurrencies inside of the wallet. Very user-friendly, easy to use. This is a hot wallet, so it's connected online all the time, right? Usually you put this on your computer, like on your laptop or desktop computer, and you can swap a bunch of assets, like swap Bitcoin for USDT, which is Tether, a dollar coin. You can swap whatever you want, Cardano, or whatever other coins you have. And then it has strong encryption, but it is hot wallet, so it means it's connected to the internet. So it's not going to be as secure as a cold wallet, but it is a good wallet. Another one we have is a trust wallet. And the trust wallet, this one is, it is acquired by Binance. So this one has a whole bunch of different coins, and it's usually on iOS and Android. So it's a mobile one. I don't think it's for desktop, but you do have it on your phone. And then it does staking. Staking is where you get interest, right? So you can say, I'm going to put my Ethereum, or I'm going to put my Cardano, or my Solana. These are different tokens, cryptos. Those are going to maybe get 5% or 6%. And the cool thing about that is you're getting your interest in the cryptocurrency, right? So you're actually getting your interest in that. So if that goes up, if Cardano goes up, if Ethereum goes up, then the value of your staking, what you have staking, is also going up. So that's really good also. Okay. Ethereum-based tokens included. It's non-custodial, again, meaning you keep your own keys, you're responsible for them, and obviously don't lose your keys. And it's available on iOS and Android. Okay, and these are just some examples. I know Isaac will go in much more detail in our upcoming session. Okay, so the Ledger Nano, this is one of the cold wallets, right? The Ledger Nano, that was a picture actually I showed you up here. This is the Ledger Nano. Okay, so the Ledger Nano, this one is a hardware wallet. Private keys are offline, store them yourself, and a wide range of cryptocurrencies, so Bitcoin, Ethereum. I think there's several hundred different ones you can put in there. It's encrypted, so it's a hardware like a little thumb drive, like a little USB stick, and it makes it one of the most secure options. And basically, it's the hardware, so you got to buy one. Never buy these like off of Amazon. Always buy it directly from the vendor, because if you get one that somebody like, it's reused, or, somebody already opened it, they could basically hack everything that you put on there. So make sure to get it directly from the manufacturer. Don't get it like from some third party. Okay. And then Trezor, which Tamar, you mentioned just now, that one also is another very popular hardware wallet. Pretty easy to use. They got several versions of it. That one's not in the picture. It's got a touch screen. There's one version of touch screen, one version that's like a basic version. Over 1,600 cryptocurrencies, and you have two-factor authentication, so you got to basically do that to get into it. Cold storage, again, it's offline, so nobody can just hack right into it from the internet, and it is a hardware little device that you hold in your hand also. Okay, these are web wallets, so these are very popular. However, especially MetaMask, blockchain is also. But the thing that is a downside with these is that these are completely online. So MetaMask is very popular, but believe me, I get like a scam email almost every other week with somebody trying to, get access and fish to get access to my MetaMask if I have a MetaMask, right? So that is a big risk with using one like this, even though it's extremely popular. It allows you to connect with DeFi, so you can connect to DeFi like Uniswap and SushiSwap and all these different ones. You can connect to them and do trading, or Shiba Swap. And you can connect. It's non-custodial, which means, again, you own your own keys, and you can also put it in the browser or on your phone. And lots of people love to use this wallet. Again, don't quote me on the quote, because that came from ChatGPT, and I don't really know it's accurate. However, people do love this wallet. It's really good. Okay, blockchain wallet, one of the original ones, blockchain.info. This one is a Bitcoin, also stores Ethereum, easy to use, and again, two-factor authentication. It is a wallet that's connected to the web, so you got to be very careful. Web-based mobile wallet, and this one is like one of the original wallets that used to be out there for a very long time. Fairly secure, but again, only to a point, because it is connected to the internet. So be careful. Don't open up emails and go, hey, click here. We're going to add something to your wallet. They're probably trying to hack you, or, so be careful of all those phishing attempts, because that's definitely going to happen, especially with web wallets. Okay. And especially with MetaMask. Questions here? Cool. All right. So we got custodial versus non-custodial. Custodial is managed by third parties like Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, Gemini. They hold the keys. Now, the downside is one day you could try to log into that, and they could say, oh, we're not going to give you access to the website, right? Just like your bank could do. So the good thing is, like Coinbase in the US or Binance overseas, they are really very big. They're very, I guess, well regulated, at least for where they operate. And they're unlikely to disappear or go out of business anytime soon, right? Easy to set up. They're very good for beginners. I use Coinbase a lot. I like that. I can give a link for that one. And usually it's harder to get Binance, like in the US and Western countries, but throughout most of the global South and Asia, it's pretty easy to use Binance. Okay? And then non-custodial wallets. Users, obviously, you control your keys, like we said. So we got the examples. We get MetaMask and Trust Wallet and Ledger and Trezor, and there's quite a few others. Tangent, all those different ones. And then full control over your assets means that you can send it anytime you want to anybody you want. Tima, you can send something to Mike, or Emmanuel, you can send something. Anybody can send to whoever they want. You don't need to worry about, somebody saying, oh, you can't do that. It just automatically goes to a blockchain and you send it, no problem. Obviously, the con is that you got to keep your private key safe. If you lose it, your funds are unrecoverable. If somebody else gets it, they can get your funds. So you have to be very careful about that. again, you are your own bank in that case when you're doing the non-custodial wallets. Okay, and then choosing the right wallet. So you want to consider your security, right? The cold wallet is offline, so people can't get into it from internet, and that's a good thing. Convenience. The hot wallets are really accessible, so you can get right in there. Like you want to use the Trust wallet or use the Exodus wallet or MetaMask. They're right online. They're ready to go really fast. You don't have to go get any device or anything. So that's convenient, right? And then cryptocurrency support. Not every wallet is going to support every token. If you're using like the top 10 or 20 tokens, usually those are almost always covered. It's like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano. Those are usually, everybody usually covers them. But when you start getting lower number tokens, those maybe or maybe not. User experience, look for easy to use interfaces, good support, so you want to do that. And for beginners, recommended here is a hot wallet. It's like Trust Wallet or MetaMask. Those are easy. I actually would probably say like Coinbase or Binance as well. Just, because it's really easy. Just don't put too much there, because remember, you can lose your access if something happens. Like sometimes when the price of Bitcoin goes really fast up, Coinbase, people start having problems because so many people are selling or so many people are going to try to log in, and they lose access like for an hour or two. So just be aware of that. And then recommended for serious investors, obviously cold wallets, because you're going to be storing things for a long time, like Ledger or Trezor or other cold wallets that are like physical devices. And there are quite a few others. Just remember, always get it from the manufacturer. Never get a cold wallet from, oh, my buddy down the street, or, is my girlfriend over here. She's got to never get or use one or anything like that, because it can easily get hacked. Okay. Or already be like compromised. So for securing your investments in crypto wallets, and like I said, we should have the deep dive, hopefully with Isaac, in upcoming session, either next month or hopefully coming up here. We'll try to schedule that. Critical to secure your crypto by selecting the right wallet, getting the right one that fits your needs, whether it's hot or cold or a web wallet, what you're going to do, and get it a physical device or cold one. Understand the security features as you choose it, and always back up your recovery phrase and ensure your private keys are stored securely. Do not put them into like something on the internet, like a file on the internet, because anybody can get that file and then they can get to your digital assets. So make sure you put it someplace that's like old school, locked away, safe, wherever you want to put it, but not online. Okay. Let's see, do I have anything after that? No. So do you guys have questions about the wallets or general other questions we can have for any of the other topics that we covered today during the meetup? We should have more meetup topics coming up. We're going to try to do one every month, certainly this year. And if you guys have different things you're interested in, let us know as well. But questions about the wallets?
Hi, John. Can you hear me? John?
Yes, I can. Go. Yep.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, what's your take on multi-signature wallets, and in terms of the diaspora, DAOs, etc. I mean, what's your take on using multi-signature wallets and how useful they can be in terms of organizing people?
So the multi-signature wallets?
Yep.
Multi-signature wallets are good, and I'll explain what those are. So most wallets, you can just, one person can get the key and they can send the Bitcoin or the crypto or whatever's in there. But sometimes you have like for a company, or maybe it's like a family or a trust fund or something, and you don't want only one person to be able to move it without somebody else checking, right? So the multi-signature requires that you have like 2 or 3 people. Think of like, the pictures, the movies you see where like 2 or 3 people have a key, so the nuclear, missile or whatever. No, not that big, but the idea is that it takes 2 or 3 people, or however many you have, for the multi-signature to be able to actually send the crypto. I think that's useful if you have like a company or a trust fund or some kind of entity or a family, office or something, where you want to make sure that it's not just one person is just doing all the, I'm just going to send it all. And then you're like, what happened? All of a sudden it's gone, right? So it is very useful for that. It is a little bit more, a little tougher to set up. So you do have to keep in mind that it will be a little more of a hassle to set up. And obviously, if it's like an emergency and you really need to move something quickly, you may not be able to if you don't have all the people available with the multiple signatures.
Thanks.
Were you thinking of using one?
Yeah, actually, I did ask the question was just so you could, say something about those as well. I think they're quite handy when it comes to, charities, for instance, tracking how funds are being used. They just create a lot of transparency when it comes to coordinating efforts in various domains. Yeah. And yeah, we do have one actually.
Yeah, I think it is very beneficial, like for charity, for a nonprofit, and all those types of things. Definitely, I think a multi-signature is a good idea. So yeah, I think that would make a lot of sense. Cool. Other questions there? Other questions?
Yeah, thank you. What was the name of that wallet?
Which one?
The one for multiple people.
Emmanuel, which one are you guys using for multi-sig? If you don't mind asking. There are several, I think, that will support it.
We're using Safe.
Safe wallet.
Safe wallet. Yeah.
Okay.
Safe now. Yeah.
So there
Safe
are multiple
wallet.
of them. There are multiple wallets to support it.
Yeah.
But that's one of them.
Thank you. And what are they actually called overall?
Multi-signature wallets.
Multi-signature wallet. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, go in the chat there. Cool. All right. Other questions?
Well, I have a comment. Hi,
Mhm.
everyone. Velile from Namibia. So
Mhm.
I'm very much new to the whole crypto space and everything.
Mhm.
I recently invested in some XRPs.
Mhm.
I also went through my first online scam. I lost a little bit of some of my savings, so a bit traumatized, that's why I thought it would be
Yeah.
valuable for me to
Yeah.
join this session and just learn some more, from a trusted space and all of that. But in Namibia, we're very regulated. Our government just approved four crypto exchanges in January, so I currently use Binance and Wallet. So I learned a lot on this session, and thanks to you for setting this up.
Yeah, you're
That's
welcome.
it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to hear that you had the scam. Unfortunately, there are quite a few out there. Just be very careful, do your research, like you said, use trusted exchanges.
Yeah.
So, Binance is a good one. And be very careful if there's some token that you know nothing about. It's like token number 5,700. Don't,
Yeah, totally.
I would be very careful with those, right? Things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP are pretty safe, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, thanks a lot. I'm actually going into a session starting in about half an hour. Some friends of mine are going into a learning session on how to trade online with crypto and all of that stuff. So we're just empowering ourselves. So thanks a lot for
very
this
good.
platform. Thank you.
By the way, what are the 4 exchanges that were you said were approved in Namibia?
Landifa is one of them that's run by a good friend of mine. The other one is IMEX, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember what the other 2 are called, but I would likely use Landifa because my friend is one of the co-founders.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll type it up in the chat so people can look out for it. Yeah.
That'd be great. And if you join the Telegram group, if you type it there also, that will stay after the Zoom call so people can see and know what they are. So really good. Okay, great. I'm glad you got some value out of it today. And Tima, you have a question?
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you want to find out if like a certain platform that you're trading with is a scam or not. What's the best website? Like if you want to find out if like I know Coinbase isn't, I know Binance isn't a scam, but if like what's the best website to find out if this not okay, this website I don't want to trade on, what's the best website to find out if they're a scam or not?
Yeah, so like you said, Coinbase, Binance, the top ones that are regulated, those are usually no problem. I would check, obviously, there are, your usual. So you can do like your Google, your Gemini, Google Gemini AI, ChatGPT, DeepSeek. Now, those you can kind of ask the question, say, what are the reviews, what do people say about this, what, they'll post together some good information for you about different exchanges. The top exchanges, like I said, are generally safe. Binance, Coinbase in the US, Gemini, Kraken. Those are all generally very safe exchanges for the DeFi, Uniswap. Those like top platforms.
No, I mean, like, okay, so if you want to find out if something is a scam or not, usually people would use like Check a Trade or what is it? I even forgot the name. So there should be one for exchanges to find out if it's a scam or not. So do you know of an official website?
There may be.
AI.
I mean, for me, I usually leverage AI pretty heavily. Does anybody else have a site that they go to check for scams they can share?
If the exchanges, yeah, is legit or not.
I use chat a lot to double check stuff. Yeah. ChatGPT.
There is a website, but I'll have to have a look for it, and then I'll put it in the Telegram group.
I mean, you can also leverage CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, which has the list of majority of the exchanges. And if you're also speaking about a legit token on an exchange, then you should know that most of the exchange, they pretty much vet a lot of the tokens they list on their exchange for trading. Unlike using the decentralized exchange like Uniswap or SushiSwap, which anyone can just list a token on there and add liquidity.
TradingView is one? Is TradingView one?
TradingView, you could see the market movement and the volume and all that.
Okay. Thank you.
Did I answer your question? You're on mute, but I'm assuming that's okay. Other questions?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Great. Okay, well, that's our session for today. We should have the session, hopefully with Isaac, going really into showing you how to set up your wallets coming up here. Also, hopefully the one from the South African Q Gold, their tokenized gold. We'll have more developments. We'll probably see more things coming out of the US as we see a lot more crypto stuff happening here and around the world because things are really picking up. This is a very exciting year, I think, for crypto. This is what we would call crypto fall, which is generally when you have a lot of upside. And obviously there's no guarantees, but there's a very good chance that that's what we're going to see this year. So keep doing what you're doing in terms of researching, really, learning about it, kind of in different safe ways that you can start to get started. And I think there's been a lot more great opportunities for everybody. So thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Also join the Telegram group if you're not in there, MeetUp site to look for the different updates. All right. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hello.
You have a question?
I do. I was kind of I don't say embarrassed, but intimidated to ask earlier. So I am I don't know what I'm doing whatsoever, right? Like I don't really understand the crypto world. I don't understand stocks yet. And I just needed to know who should I follow, or where would be a good place to start? Like, do you have any names I should kind of like listen to? And the other thing was I was on TikTok, and then this guy was like, oh, like I'll tell you like exactly what to do. As a matter of fact, like I'll do it and you'll just watch me do it. And so he asked me like to, put like $500 into Bitcoin, and then he would like show me like what to do. I would learn on side of him. So are those type of things?
Do you know
like
this person?
No.
Do you know this person?
No.
I would be very careful about stuff like that.
Okay.
So unless it's somebody that you personally know and trust, I would not do that.
Okay. Okay.
I would suggest, obviously join our group. That's why we have our group here. So, join the MeetUp group, the Telegram group. You have discussion. You can ask people. I have a YouTube channel where I post a lot of this stuff, so you can learn about different areas of it as well. There's a lot of other really good YouTube channels that I like as well, like Coin Bureau is pretty good, Modern Investor. And then you can also, different, like if you join, where are you based, Vandalin?
Modern Investor. Oh, I'm in the United States.
Okay, yeah. So you hear at Coinbase, if you join Coinbase, and I'll leave a link there. I usually leave the link for referral for that. Coinbase, if you join that, you are able to they have like a bunch of things that teach you about, different coins and stuff. And it's a very simple way to get started. And obviously Coinbase is regulated in America as well. So it's basically pretty much guaranteed by the government. It should be stable with no problem. So I think that's really the place to start. Let me see really quickly here if I have a Coinbase link here. Give me a second.
Okay.
I like Coinbase a lot for people to get started. It's one of the best places. Let me see if I have do I have it? Yeah, there it is, referral. Okay, so copy link. I'm going to give you the referral link. I think you get like a little bit of crypto to start with that. They give me something, I don't know what they give me. And that's but it's the best exchange in the US. If you're international, I recommend you use Binance. Binance is the one that I use like for all the team and stuff I have in Africa and everything. But Coinbase, that's the advanced one. You actually probably want the basic one. Let me see if we have the Coinbase basic. Give me a second there too. Let me see if I can find that one.
The advanced is for trading.
Yeah, advanced is for trading, so I don't think you want that. Let me go over to the regular Coinbase, and I'll give you the link for that one too. Hold on.
The only thing you can use with the advanced, depending on when I used it, is when you unwrapping your USD into the blockchain, it actually has less transaction fee, unlike when you're putting money from your bank account using the main Coinbase, you pay a lot of fees. But if you use the advanced, it's kind of like 0.5% fee.
So I guess both of my links are Coinbase Advanced. I think when you log in, you'll have the choice to use the basic one. That's what you want to. You don't want to use the advanced because that's for trading. If you're not, you'll be able, but just use the Coinbase Basic, and that should be fine.
Will I eventually like learn how to trade? I do want to learn how to trade. So does this lead
I would not start with trading. Go ahead, but
okay.
You can. You definitely can. But I would not make that my first point, though. I would not start as my first point with trading, but do it. After you've kind of gotten started, just like using the basic Coinbase, being able to buy some Bitcoin, things like that, then absolutely you can start doing a little bit of trading. Just know that, most traders honestly lose money.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm putting it there for you. So, I mean, it always looks very fancy when people do a lot of trading, like, hey, I'm up, but they're like, hey, I'm up, $1,000. Oh, I'm down 2,000. I'm up 500, right? So it's like really like a highs and lows kind of thing. For me, I prefer like I put in like, whatever, $100 each month or something. And just every month I do that. And then you keep on building it up. We call that dollar cost averaging. And it's kind of an easier way to start, a little less stressful, but you can definitely get into trading, once you feel comfortable.
So okay. So basically I'm going to join Coinbase. I'm going to put money in, and it's kind of like a savings account, and it builds at a different rate than a regular savings account. That's what happens.
Well, yes, that is true, but remember, it's a little risky, right? Because you can put things in USDC. I don't know if you mentioned this, Zuka. So you can put things in a stable coin, and that gets like 4 or 5% interest, and that's fine. That's just US dollar stable coin. It's called USDC. However, you connect to your bank account. But if you put it like in Bitcoin or Ethereum, there's no guarantee. It could go up 100%. It could go down 100%, right? So you have to understand anything that you have in any of those cryptos, that's much more risky. Now, the benefit is that you get a lot more potential upside, because when things are very volatile, they can go up a lot, right? But it can also go down a lot. So you got to be careful.
So, John, the one I spoke about, the 5% in the wallet, it's the Coinbase wallet, not the Coinbase exchange. Coinbase, they have their Web3 wallet. Yeah, that's where you have, you hold the stable coin and then you get the APR.
Yeah, I think the APR on the, let me see.
It should also be on the exchange, but I'm not sure if it's up to 5%, but you can check.
It's 4.1% on the exchange. 4.1% is the rate I'm getting for Coinbase on the stable coin.
All right, John.
There's no risk there.
Thanks for having me today as well. I'll still keep updated about the project and when we about to launch our proof of concept and get testers in. To have a
Yeah,
lovely
sounds good.
day.
Looking forward to hearing more about that. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Well, Bentley, do you have any other question?
I okay. So when I get to Coinbase, I'm going to buy coins. I don't
Yeah, so you
understand how this works. I'm gonna
connect it to like either you deposit money from your bank account or a debit card, and then it will allow you basically to
okay.
buy. So then you would just say, "Hey, I want to buy Bitcoin or I want to buy Ethereum," and it's very easy to do.
Okay,
Did you
so that I like yes, like I understand that part, but how I guess the purpose of it is to what? The purpose is to buy coins and
let me show
make
you
money?
something. Yeah,
Okay.
it is. I'm going to show you a chart. Give me a second, okay?
Yes.
Because this is really key. I think this is a presentation I did last time. So hold on a second. Let me find it.
But how do you make money if you're not going to trade it? If it goes
You
down or
can
up?
definitely trade some. Let's see if
Okay.
it opens up. But the idea here is you don't want to trade all, because when you see all these people like BlackRock and all these big companies and Wall Street and everybody getting into it, they're doing that because they expect this thing to really go up, right? They don't expect it to go
Okay.
up for a few days. So let me see if I can get this thing to open here. Here we go. Okay, let me see if I can show this to you.
You okay?
All right, now let me share my screen again really quickly. This is kind of like the money shot of what's going on. So let's see if this makes sense. Okay. There we go. Oh, my computer's going so slow. Okay, you see this chart where it says like basically you got spring and summer and fall and winter. So
Yes.
Bitcoin and crypto goes in a 4-year cycle. Every time Bitcoin has a halving, it's a different cycle. So you can see the fall is like where it really goes up a lot, right? It didn't go up as much in 2021 because of COVID, unfortunately, but we're now into 2025, which is another fall. You can see almost every one, this market goes up a lot, right?
Okay.
Almost like 10x or more. Okay. So we are right here right now. And so you can absolutely trade. I mean, they say this is a market where, I mean, you could like literally, generally, hopefully, right? Throw some money on almost any of the top things and you're going to make money on it, right? And obviously you do need to
Okay.
sell, because what happens is if you keep on holding it into what we call crypto winter, then you're going to lose money unless you hold it for like another 4 years, and you don't want to do that. So you obviously want to sell some as it goes up, right?
Okay.
But you don't necessarily sell all of it. And also Bitcoin is becoming very rare. So many rich people are buying it that I would suggest, even if it goes down for a little while, because I mean, look what happens here, right? It goes up, 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 and then, oh, it goes down. But even when it went down, did it go down as far as it was back here? No, right?
No.
Up, 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 and then it goes down. But again, did it go down as far as it was back here? No, right? So what really is happening, it's still going up, even when it falls. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so you could sell. I mean, what I suggest is, and not financial advice, but is, so get some coins, like you get some Bitcoin and Ethereum, get some altcoins, some meme coins, not as much of that. Those are the ones where you can really make, like, so they got whatever, Pepe coin, Shiba Inu, Trump coin, doesn't matter. Okay, grab any of those. Most of those are probably not going to do really well, but a few might make a lot of money. Like Shiba Inu last time meant like a 10,000 or 100,000x. Went super high.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Now you're not guaranteed that, but if you get like, you can imagine if you get like one coin where you put in like $10 and it goes up 100,000, that's $1 million, right?
Oh.
So, but this is the thing. Most of the coins, it's not going to happen like that. So I would lose like 10% of my portfolio, like the meme coins, probably like maybe 20 or 30% into other altcoins. And then probably the majority of it would go into Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Okay. Majority in, okay. So like right now I have like $68 in Bitcoins through Cash App, right? And so basically I take that and put it over in Coinbase, or no, keep it in Cash App?
It's not easy. It's
and
not easy to
then,
get Bitcoin out of Cash App. You might be able to. I've never been able to get it out, but you might be able to.
Oh.
I would just deposit like $50 from your bank
Okay.
account or a debit card into Coinbase.
Oh,
And
into Coinbase. Okay, so start with, thank you. So start with like $50.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I needed to know, because I don't have.
Yeah.
I'm a working single mom here,
Yeah.
so okay, so start with $50
Yeah.
in Coinbase,
You got it.
and then put it in like you said, like the Bitcoins or the inferiors, like, and then with my next 50 or so, probably keep it there and then start to diversify little stuff. That's what we're
Yeah,
saying.
exactly. Right. And so, I mean, if you're going to get like,
Okay.
well, if you're going to get like whatever crazy meme coin, don't put, I mean, if you got like $50, you can put in like $5 or something, right?
Okay.
Don't put the majority of your money, because most of those are going to go to nothing. But a few of them,
Got it.
they actually go up like 1,000x, and then your $5 becomes $5,000 or $50,000, right?
Ah, and it's
So
actual
that
money
does
for me.
happen, but just understand that most of the time it does not. So it's kind of an art, you know. So don't put most of your money. Most of it, I would go Bitcoin and Ethereum, because those are longer bets, and over a long time, they should keep going up. It's kind of like generational wealth, right? But you can also try some of the others
Right.
in addition to.
And then from those coins, then that's when I buy tokens. I buy tokens with those coins.
You can exchange them for other coins or tokens, yes.
But and then tokens is when I can buy a part of someone's business, like we were just discussing.
Yeah, you can. But again, that's even more
Okay.
risky. So make sure that you really understand what you're investing in there, because, you know, a lot of times, like, you know how venture capital firms work?
No.
So what they
No,
do is
sorry.
they have a fund, right? They might have like 20 companies they invest in, right?
Okay.
But of those 20, like 18 or 19 are going to fail. They know that, right?
Oh.
But out of those 20, they have like one or two, they're going to do like, 10,000x, right? They're going to be
Okay.
like the next big thing. And so they make all their money off those one or two. Does that make sense?
Ah, okay. Yes.
And that's the same thing you're thinking about
So,
here. I mean,
right.
Bitcoin is not going anywhere. It's going to be the main thing in this market. So it's pretty safe. Think of it like your savings account, if you will, in the crypto. So Bitcoin
Okay.
is fine. But as you invest in other things, expect that like 18 out of 20 of them, especially as you go into the winter, the blue part, they're going to go down, right? However, if you get like a couple of really good ones like in this year, they could make a lot of money for you.
Got it. Okay. I understand. Now, okay, so I signed up for Telegram. Does it just send me, it'll send me stuff, right?
Yes,
Like as
Telegram,
you got,
we
okay.
have chat, we just talk there, we have conversations. I usually post a lot of stuff. Other people post stuff about what they're doing. So you'll see all kinds of stuff going on in there every day. You can ask questions or whatever you want to do as well. So every day we're talking in there, we're having our conversations, and we try to have the live meetups so once a month. So we should have these also.
Okay. Okay. So then so I sign up for that, and then I'll get your live meetups, right? Since I'm on this one, will I get the
we
other
always
ones?
post the live meetups in there, so you see that. Did you register for the live meetup site, right, too? Meetup.com. Did you register there?
No, because I think it was a fee. No, I did. No, I did. That's how I
It's
got
free.
this.
That's free. It's free. Yeah, you just got to
Yes.
register. The reason we make it registration, I want to keep it private. I don't want like everybody coming in, like knowing everybody's information and knowing what we're doing. So I like people to register so we know who they are.
Okay. So, okay. Thank you. So I'm going to
You got
grow,
it.
basically. I'm going to grow. Okay.
Yeah. You got it.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Have a good day.
You too.